So Mecca is sacred for many reasons. Ibrahim alayhi salam built that. And so Allah is swearing by the city. And then He says, وَأَنْتَ حِلٌّ بِهَذَا الْبَلَدِ. You are a lawful citizen of this city. Citizenship is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Human beings have a right to be here by the mere fact that they're born. وَوَالِدٍ وَمَا وَلَدٍ. The fact that you were born, you came into existence, that means you have a right to exist. Allah brought you into existence, so you have a right to exist. If you have a right to exist, you have a right to occupy space. I mean, you're a lawful citizen of where you're from. And nobody can take that away from you unless they oppress you. It's unjust. So, not only that, you're free to think, because Allah gave you an intellect. You're free to believe, you're free to disbelieve. That's a right of human beings. And so the Prophet ﷺ disbelieved in the idols. And so they persecuted him. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, you're lawfully in this city. You have a right to be here. وَأَنْتَ حِلٌّ بِهَذَا الْبَلَدِ وَوَالِدٍ وَمَا وَلَدٍ. By the parent and what he gives birth to. لَقَدْ خَلَقْنَا الْإِنسَانَ فِي كَبَدٍ. We have created the human being in toil. Kabada, yukabidu means to struggle with something. Kabad is difficulty, it's toil, it's struggle. That's the nature of life. If you look at children, you know why children can't talk before they can walk? Because children usually can walk at about 1. Walking is hard. It is. Watch children learn to walk. Because if they could talk, they would never learn to walk. Because every time they tried to do it, somebody would say, you can't do that, don't waste your time. You'll never do that, it's too hard. Seriously, children, it's amazing. They get up, they fall down. It doesn't stop them. Why? Because they see everybody else is walking and they want to do what everybody else is doing. That's a human nature. That's why people imitate by nature. Children imitate adults and adults imitate other adults. That's why leaders are the most important people in a society. Because they determine the behavior of people. When you have leaders that are profligates, everybody behaves like profligates. When you have leaders that dress like prostitutes, everybody dresses like prostitutes. When you have leaders that cheat and lie and are venal and corrupt and murder, then you have people doing that. That's their behavior. Is based on the leaders. And that's why our leader is the Prophet ﷺ. We don't want those other leaders. Because لَقَدْ كَانَ لَكُمْ فِي رَسُولِ اللَّهِ أُسْوَةٌ حَسَنَةٌ. You have in him the best example. So don't settle for less than the best. Why settle for less than the best? He didn't have tattoos. I'm not going to wear a tattoo. He didn't dress immodestly. I'm not going to dress immodestly. He dressed with dignity. He didn't wear T-shirts. The Prophet ﷺ never wore T-shirts. He didn't wear billboards. Buy Medina dates. Seriously, why are you going around advertising for these people? Free advertising. You don't even have a contract with them. They have a contract with that company that you bought the T-shirt from. So why? Seriously, why are people doing that? They're walking billboards. But that's the kind of culture that is created when you don't have prophetic guidance. So Allah says the human being is created in struggle. Your life is going to be struggle. That's a given. Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu said, everything in life is tribulation, ibtida. So if you don't have any tribulation, just be grateful. Because the tribulation is the norm. And many of the people of this science in Islam said, there's one of two things. You're either mu'afa or mubtala. You're either in tribulation or you're free of tribulation. If you're free of tribulation, Allah will send the people of tribulation to you. And if you turn them away in contempt, Allah will try you. That's what happens. People of tribulation will come to you needing help. So if you ignore them, then Allah will give you tribulation. So it's one of the two. You're either mu'afa or mubtala. That's it. لِيَبْلُوَكُمْ. So the humans are in kabad. أَيَحْسُبُ أَنْ لَا يَقْدِرَ عَلَيْهِ أَحَدٍ. Does the human being think nobody has power over him? Nobody can constrain him? Nobody can... Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He can take everything you have and take it all away in one moment. Literally. He can take your health away from you. You can have a stroke. Literally. Young people have strokes. You'd be 30 years old. Prime health, everything. Everything's going great. Whoosh, suddenly you're paralyzed. You can get Guillain-Barré. Allah can take it away at any moment. He can take your family away from you. He can take your wealth away from you, your health. It's just everything like that, just in one quick swoop. So people don't think that that's not the يَقُولُ أَهْلَكْتُ مَالًا لُبْدًا. I've consumed vast quantities of wealth. He boasts about his consumption. Human beings, I've consumed vast wealth. Somebody gave $35 million yesterday to the opera in a city of homeless people. And she said, I just wanted to share this with so many people. And I'm thinking, so many people? Who goes to the opera? No, seriously, so many people? That's like 0.00001% of the population go to the opera. But that's the human state. A very old person, everybody's applauding, how wonderful, how selfless, for the opera. And there's people that don't even have homes in the same city. That's just amazing. That's the human condition. That's how disconnected people are from reality. If I had $35 million, would I give that to the opera? Seriously. It's just amazing. So, أَيَحْسِبُ أَن لَمْ يَرَاهُ أَحَدٌ. Does he think nobody can see him? The human being? You think you can do all your nefarious deeds, like this guy, Foley, sending emails. Now he's disgraced, but Allah saw him. Now just because people see him, he's disgraced, but Allah saw him. So you can hide things, but in the end of the day, they're going to come out. And there's no hiding on the Day of Judgment. It all comes out. It's called al-ard. You know what al-ard is? Is when you see everything, your whole life. You have to watch the whole thing. And you can edit it here now. You have Pro Cut. Like you edit mistakes out. Harun, that's what we do, don't we? Like when I make mistakes on the podcast. Seriously, I make mistakes. Imam Zayd make mistakes. They edit it out and then you look great, no mistakes. But there were mistakes. But we edit it out. You cut. That's called tawbah. You edit those mistakes out. Astaghfirullah, I made a mistake. You need to make the tawbah. That's the cut. You make the edit. Seriously, that's what it is. So you're editing your life's movie. That everybody's going to watch it on. Why do you think there's 50 million years? You sit there on the Day of Judgment. Everybody has to go through their life. People like watching stories. They watch movies all the time. People like to watch movies. Yawm al-Qiyamah is going to be very interesting. No, seriously, it's going to be really amazing. You're going to see, like Hitler, the whole thing.
The uncensored version.
The uncensored, unexpurgated version. And everybody has to do it. So Allah promises that the people that made tawbah, ya satar. But Ibn Ata'illah says how foolish the human being is. He wants Allah to give him sitr from people, but he's not worried about the sitr from Allah. In other words, if you're really intelligent, who cares what other people think? Because they're all like you. They're in the same jam you're in. The only one that really makes any serious concern is Allah. So if you're not concerned about him, that's what he's saying. أَلَّمْ يَرَاهُ أَحَدٌ. Does he think nobody sees him? Meaning Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. أَلَمْ نَجْعَلْ لَهُ عَيْنَيْنِ. We gave him 2 eyes. We gave you sight. You don't think we can see you? We gave you vision. We created vision. We gave you the ability to see. And we've limited your seeing because we see everything. But we just wanted to let you know what you can see, we can see everything. So you can see some things, we can see everything.